Hello, hope you're doing well, hope you're enjoying the summer wherever you are. We should have been back in England right now, this period of the summer, but because of the whole COVID thing, we felt it was best to stay out here in Colorado, and it's been a great time. We were here for the 4th of July, which was a new experience for us, and I got a new t-shirt which didn't quite arrive in time for the 4th of July, but so I'm wearing it now to try and make up for it. I don't know if you can read that, if it's come the right way around. Happy Treason Day, ungrateful colonials. So it's gone down well with the locals, as you can imagine. It's actually almost a little bit British today. Cloud, we've had some rain, and I'm going to do a bunch of short videos on the trees of Colorado. We've spent quite a bit of time exploring western Colorado the last few weeks, which has been awesome. We've had a really good time seeing some amazing sights. And one thing Colorado, or western Colorado anyway, has a lot of is trees. And as you know, those of you who know me, I quite like trees, in one form or another. And so I'm going to do some video messages looking at some of the different trees of Colorado. And I'm starting today with Aspen, which are basically most of the trees you can see kind of around behind me now. Our little community neighbourhood is kind of basically, I guess, built in a grove of aspen trees. And so this is the aspen tree behind me with the kind of white bark and the fluttery leaves. Populus tremula is the botanic Latin name, if you're interested. Same as the aspen tree back home in England, but it's a slightly different strain or variety, so it has a different type of bark. That's one obvious difference. What's kind of quirky about Colorado is how close they build houses to trees, or how close they leave the trees next to the houses when they build. And you can see this one here, they've even kind of notched the rail of this porch around this aspen tree. So that's pretty funky. And I don't know if you can see this tree here growing close to the house, and along there as well. So yeah, what they do, leaving these trees close to these houses in Colorado, they love their trees, don't want to cut down too many. And the aspen tree is quite remarkable in a way, in that it's a pioneer species, so it kind of colonizes bare ground, open areas ahead of other trees, and grows pretty prolifically, rapidly, and it's just an amazingly designed tree for its environment. And I'm going to be bringing into these little messages kind of trees, where trees appear in the Bible. So we're going to be looking at trees in Colorado, but then also trees in the Bible. And the first time we see trees appear in the Bible is the account of creation at the beginning of Genesis, where God creates all the plants and all the trees. And for me, just looking at and understanding the different tree species and how they interact with their environment, and how they interact with each other in the kind of forest setting, just to me kind of just highlights again just the incredible design that God built into creation and into trees, as well as the rest of his creation. And it just amazing design. To my mind, can't have just happened through chance and through accident. And the aspen tree is incredible because of the way it reproduces. It produces huge amounts of seed, which here floats around in kind of the early part of the summer or spring in kind of cotton wool type clouds of it almost looks like it's snowing some days, but it also suckers. And you can almost see some down in the grass here, little aspen tree suckers which pop up from the root systems of the mature trees. Not really any there that I can show you, but you have to take my word for it. When the grass gets cut, the little seedlings get cut off as well. But it's pretty amazing. And the account of creation in Genesis also tells us that then God created mankind and put mankind in charge of the earth, kind of gave him dominion and rule over the rest of creation. And we all know how that's kind of ended up, and we haven't done a great job of stewarding what God has given us. And trees are a case in point, I guess, in that we've kind of abused the amazing kind of resource of trees that God gave us when He put us in charge of creation. We've kind of pillaged and desecrated and kind of grubbed out and removed forests at a pretty rapid rate. And I'm not going to get all kind of environmental and preachy on you in that point, but God gave us trees and timber as a resource, so kind of meant to be used. And timber is just such an amazing resource, such an amazing material, because it grows again, doesn't it? So you can cut it down and use it, and if you're looking after the forest resource properly, it comes back. It grows back again if it's stewarded properly. And I was talking to someone here in Colorado recently who was obviously a bit of a tree hugger, and I don't classify myself in quite that context, because I've been responsible for a fair few trees finding their way on the back of a lorry and into a sawmill. But this person was telling me how they were building a house up here in the mountains in Colorado, but they were using all steel and other materials other than timber, because they were just fed up of trees being cut down so much. And kind of got into a little bit of a discussion about how, if trees in forests are managed properly, how timber is just an amazing material and so much better than steel and glass in an environmental aspect, because it keeps growing back, and it locks up carbon if you're interested in that, it's just fantastic. That's just one little side rabbit trail I'm going on. But yeah, that's aspen. Grows pretty prolifically around here. It's quite pretty with the bark, very pretty in the fall or autumn, when it all turns yellow for a few weeks, and you see these pockets of yellow dotted around the mountains where the aspen leaves are turning. God gave us trees and has designed trees in a remarkable way, and I'm going to be exploring a bit more about where trees pop up in the Bible and looking at some more different species that we find here in Colorado. So I hope that's interesting, or at least vaguely entertaining, and let me know what you think. Speak to you soon.